Assalamu alaikum. Now before we go on to making inayas, we're going to cut hammams first, and it's the same linen that I've used for a previous suit. The only difference is that that had a dupatta which was also in black, but the dupatta had a slight different embroidery. It was all in the beige and the brown. Now with this one, it's got a hint of this like green. It's a very pretty color. It's a quite wide, quite big dupatta on chiffon, and it's embroidered. So what we're going to do is I've tried to match it up, and I've had a little bit of an unsuccess in coming up with something similar that I can put on the dress that will combine the two. So what I'm going to do is, because the dupatta is quite wide, I'm going to take from the one side, I'm going to take it off, and then I'm going to just pipe that one side or just turn it over, because the dupatta as it is wide enough, and I'm going to leave the border on the one side. That way I can combine this and use it as the trim on the hem, and that will sort of blend in the suit with the dupatta and will make it look more uniformed. Okay, so the basic suit is going to be the same. I just wanted to share just the idea with you and probably the result. Now, someone asked me a little while ago, WhatsApped me and asked me that they wanted to learn designing and they wanted to design like me. And now the advice that I would offer to anyone who wants to experiment and design is to be bold. There's no rocket science to designing, especially in this day and age. Anything and everything goes. So you know what, you can pick up any fabric, and if you're bold enough to rip and tear and to reinvent, then there's no stopping on what you can design. And the more you practice it, the more you sort of like encouraged to do more, then the more designs you'll come up with. And there really is no rocket science. I mean, you can put anything together, and as long as you're willing to put a little bit, I mean, obviously by all means look at the colors. If there's like, if I was to, I've got a green and beige dupatta, and then I've got a beige suit, coffee color suit, and if I was to add some ridiculous color on this, then obviously it's going to look out of place. So by all means put them together first and see what the result looks like. Now, you know, like things like backing this with, what am I going to back it with? I'm going to back it up with some black material and put it on in such a way that it looks like, you know, it's a purpose-made embroidery border for the dress. So that's, you know, it's like putting to use. A lot of the time we have like dupattas like this from our old suits that we might have worn the suit out but really did nothing with the dupatta. I mean, these dupattas go back to years and years and years ago when I had the shop, and I actually saw these dupattas and I fell in love with them. And then probably people didn't have the same love that I had for these, because obviously I didn't sell them, and you know, my probably thinking was different to other people's thinking. So since I didn't sell them, but I love them all the same, you know, I want to put them to use. And I know that, you know, once I make the suits with these and match them, I mean, this can go with a plain black suit. You know, if you wanted, you could add this border to a black suit. You could go for the greeny color and make it in that suit, but I want to be a little bit different. So I've got this linen that's lying around. I've already made the one suit. I'm just going to go on to make another one, and with a different combination. So, you know, you've got like choices. And the good thing is that nowadays there's so much available on the internet that you can see and you can pick up ideas from. You can look at pictures and pick up ideas and then make your own slight changes. So I use the design from the picture, but add your own laces and combine everything together prior to starting. So I mean, like, I looked at what I could use. I looked at around so many different things, but I wanted to combine the color of the dupatta. I've got the plain lace like this line around, which is what I used on the previous dress because that had all brown, and then the one that I'm using on Inaya's, that goes perfectly, color matches perfectly with that, but then it doesn't go with the dupatta. I mean, like, if I was using this lace on this linen, then I would like to match it up with the peach dupatta, and you know, or a same color dupatta with a peach trim, and you know, combine the whole thing as like I mean, nowadays there's some ridiculous, well, I don't know about nowadays, but a little while ago there were some ridiculous designs going about that were in total contrast, that had no you know, combination match whatsoever, but the so-called designers were selling those as well, and there were silly enough people out there like us who went and bought it. So anything goes, don't be afraid, be bold, and experiment. And I will inshallah share the result with you once I've finished. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fast track video on the actual cutting of this, because the real purpose of cutting this dress is actually to get the leftover material to make one for Inaya. So if you've not seen the hint of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly share that with you as well, and then we don't have to do a separate video. So basically what I've done with children, one of the things that children like is they don't like dull colors. So if I was to make this for Inaya, you know, her first impulse reaction would be that, Daddy, why have you made me that? That's such a horrible color, because that's not children's color. So the material is wonderful. Once she starts wearing it, I know she will continuously wear this, because it's one of those fabrics that you do fall in love with. But the first instance reaction would be that I don't like it. You know, the color's not to her, color would not be to her liking. So what I've done is I've chosen, I just had pieces lying around, yeah. And so I'm just going to use the pieces, and I'm just going to create from those pieces. This is like probably the dupatta material that I've used as a lining for something else, and these are the leftovers from my own dress. So what we're going to do is we're going to line in that material, and this is going to be like a overshirt on top of this. So the actual suit is going to be from the leftover of this, and this I'm just going to make the neckline, and the lace I will be using this lace. I probably will cut it in half and use it all the way on the sides here, and then use the thick border at the bottom, and then crisscross, you know, those tie backs around here just on the waistline, so that will like take it in the her kameez, and it will be like an overshirt on top of a normal kameez. So basically what I've done is used all the pieces, found some leftover pieces as well, and combined them together, cut this out. It's just a straightforward, nothing to it, just around the neck, and this is just all one straight piece. I'll give you the measurements that I'm using. This is like 27 inches in length, and it's about 12.5 inches across. So it's all the same, just around neck, and then same sleeves out of this. I've also lined the sleeves as well. So I'm going to cut a normal dress out of this, but then overlay it with this, like sort of like a jacket on top of it. I will sew it together so it'll be all in one, because it's winter. She'll get the warmth out of it as well, and she'll get the colour, and I reckon it will look really pretty once done. So that's going to be her suit. I'll come back to whatever I get left over from the adult suit. The adult suit, I'm not going to do a full tutorial on that, because this is meant for Inaya. So whatever I get left over, I'll come back and I'll do like a cutting on that. So I'll put this video in between, so that it's like a fast idea of, you know, and you'll watch it in seconds. So